is let it drop right here. You better tell me if you with me. I know the devil trying to stop me. Got these people out here wishing they could pop me. If they want me, come and get me. Man, I ain't scared of none of y'all. The only thing I fear the IRS and God. If you want me, go against me. Nah, they probably better think twice. Got angels over my head, war on my mind. If you want me, come and get me. Well, y'all might as well go ahead. I'm probably more of a threat to y'all when I'm dead, though. 24 years old, my mama brought me to the glow. She tried to tell me it was cold and taught me how to keep the code. Nah. She told me to go to school and get my education. But remember, there's a bias to them books that they been making. Gave me solo nights and taught me about the middle passage. Told me God ain't writing at this. More to life than rapping. I express my opinions, my faith, and my views. If they want to keep me quiet, tell them, do. You better tell me if you with me. I know the devil trying to stop me. Got these people out here wishing they could pop me. If they want me, come and get me. Man, I ain't scared of none of y'all. The only thing I fear the IRS and God. If you want me, go against me. Nah, they probably better think twice. Got angels over my head, war on my mind. If you want me, come and get me. Well, y'all might as well go ahead. I'm probably more of a threat to y'all when I'm dead, though. Once upon a time, God opened up my mind, and He showed me I don't have to be a product people buy. With this God-given wisdom, I can climb out the hole, stay about the system, cause the system never let you go. Speak the truth without no fear. It's gonna ruin my career. I've been a mascot for too long. I ain't come here for no cheers. First of all, let me be clear one time. Let me be real one time. If you want a religious puppet, you gon' have to hang this guy. I've been around the world, seen pretty girls get caged up like sex slaves. Crooked cops done pulled me over, treated me like I ain't made in the image of God, and that's so odd. I'm in Sunday service with a snapback, and if you're hating on me, gon' hate, but if you gon' ride, you better tell me if you with me. I know the devil trying to stop me. Got these people out here wishing they could pop me. If they want me, come and get me. Man, I ain't scared of none of y'all. The only thing I fear the IRS and God. If you want me, go against me. Nah, they probably better think twice. Got angels over my head, war on my mind. If you want me, come and get me. Well, y'all might as well go ahead. I'm probably more of a threat to y'all when I'm dead, though.
Yes, indeed, chosen elect family. If they want your boy MTAC, they're gonna have to go ahead and come get me because I ain't scared. And if you're rocking and rolling with your boy here in this live stream, that means you have no fear either. And we are back on this journey through truth in life where we utilize the power of truth to be set free indeed from the chains of deception. And this channel, we're exposing crimes against humanity. This is the ultimate purpose of this channel is to share with you all my personal testimony of being victimized by the United States government, as well as inform you guys that I'm not the only victim of the national security criminal um, apparatus, the Department of Justice, FBI, CIA, NSA, DHS have, um, these cabals that is ensconced, these secret societal um, members that are networked within legitimate organizations. Now, in the legal sense, we would call this racketeering, right? Using a legal business front cover up in order to disguise criminal operations. And so the counterintelligence program, and I keep telling people, please look that up. You'll be surprised how many people have never, ever heard of the counterintelligence, program, which was a covert war against the so-called Afro-American community. It wasn't your traditional style warfare, but it was very effective in stopping the progress um, of the so-called black community here in America. It was carried out by the FBI and the CIA during the 1960s and 70s. The congressional courts underneath uh, Senator Church, who was the majority House leader at that time, conducted those hearings and discoveries where these criminal acts, ranging from uh, harassment, torture, assassinations, drugging, rape, and the list goes on, was found to be the atrocities committed against the black community at the hands of militant government sectors. Well, it didn't stop in the 1960s and 70s. It continues to this day. And I myself, I have been victimized by this. Um, and so I get on here in hopes to reach out, in hopes to utilize my First Amendment right to expose what is happening in America. No one wants to listen until it's too late. Unfortunately, this is how we think, this is how we operate. No one wants to listen, no one wants to pay attention until it's too late. People think I'm crazy, people think I'm delusional, but I'm telling you, I'm sane, I'm in my right mind, and these crimes happen to me underneath the disguise of threat assessment, underneath the disguise of, national security protocols, etc. And my family was brought in on it. These are truths. My family members were contacted. My coworkers, they deprived me from being able to even pursue the freedoms of life that I wanted to. Even churches that I would interact with from time to time, organizations, things of that nature, they were all contacted, fed a steady diet of lies, deceptions, and negative propaganda, and until they eventually dissociated from me. Many people who used to be friends and social affiliates pulled away. To this day, the damage is so dire that I spend the majority of my time in social isolation as a result of this counterintelligence campaign launched against my life. The FBI have not apologized. They have not released any, um, you know, form of regret or recommends to try to repair the situation. I have reached out to the White House and addressed them through letterhead, professional business letterhead, and I just get the same old vague responses. I did hear from the ACLU, or at least an agent posing to be a member of the ACLU. He said that his name was, what did he say his name was? Something. I have it wrote down, Brandon, I believe it was. Um, and I explained to them that we're voice, victims of intelligence community espionage, and we're looking to partner with them because they have the money and they have the resources in order to combat legally on civil and criminal platforms these sorts of crimes. So if your money and the money of the community is going to these service organizations, they should be providing that service in in an unbiased way. Unfortunately, I believe that the ACLU, and if you're a member of the ACLU or representative of the ACLU, this is just my opinion, and I'm looking forward to working with you all in a positive way. But I must express myself freely and truly. I believe that the ACLU is somewhat compromised, and for some reason or another, the only civil liberties that they are promoting is sexual liberty. Uh, gender free for all liberty. And it's sad that from the time that Barack Obama got into office, people forgot what the civil rights movement was all about. and it got twisted from its original intent and the nature of the true struggle, and it got, I went, yeah, it did. It got perverted in the sense that, now when people say civil liberties, they automatically think of people liberating their freedom to have sex with any and everything that they want to and whatever they want to, right? The Alphabet um, Coalition, Rainbow Coalition. But I want to bring you back to the reality and the truths, which is that the civil rights right bill passed in 1963, and the marches to liberate was not um, to liberate people to splurge and whatever they wanted to do in the bedroom. Not, that's no one's concern. You know, that's between them and the Most High. And if they want to do those things, they can go to hell. You know what I mean? And have their fun on the way there, right? But the civil rights movement should be given more respect. My ancestors, along with pioneers within our Black, Native American, Hispanic, and other minority communities, fought very hard for community groups that was deprived of the liberties, freedoms, and equalities that is innate to all human beings here on this earth. They were sprayed with water hose, they were beaten, they were subjugated to poverty communities and unlivable community conditions and housing, outdoor toilets, less than livable wages, etc. And they were forced to even sit on the back of the bus, drink from separate water fountains, and go to the back of um, go to the back of the restaurants to even pick up food that they paid for. You know what I mean? You're paying the exact same price, and unfortunately, you have to go to the back of the restaurant as if the restaurant was ashamed to serve you based on the color of your skin. These are just the surface scratching of what the true civil liberation movement was all about, and so forth. And now we find ourselves in a era where there's a distorted understanding of these histories, and we all know the adage remains true: those that don't learn from history is bound to repeat it. And so, yeah, this is where we're at. We're repeating a cycle of history, unfortunately, here in the United States of America, and so forth. And so, your boy MTAC, Mr. More Than a Conqueror, I have uh, literally been violated in ways that I cannot articulate, due to the fact that these crimes are still taking place. And it's sad. It's a very, very sad situation. So what do we do? Do we roll over and play dead, or do we fight? Um, I have always encouraged people to fight. You got to fight for um, anything worthwhile. You have got to be willing to fight. And as the title say, the war isn't over until we have achieved victory. And unfortunately, we have not achieved victory at this point. which means that we must continue to roll up our sleeves, suit up, and get into the heart of this battle. And so there they are with the sirens. Hopefully, there's no real emergency. A fire department. All right, so uh, interesting stuff. So, yeah, the battle still continues. Uh, and your boy MTAC, I have a personal stake in how this battle plays out, how it turns out, for the simple fact that, believe it or not, I have been a victim of this crime to the point where I have family members that are not allowed to speak to me, um, in as it regards to this atrocity. They're not even allowed to speak on it. And if you know me, I don't want to hear anything out your mouth. I don't want to hear, "Hey, man, it's been a long time. How you doing?" If you can't talk about, uh, uh, this atrocious crime, and hopefully that individual is all right. Hopefully this isn't street theater. Um, I see they have the uh, ambulance there, and it's kind of sad. They just got these little vans, man. That's some sad stuff. But yeah, hopefully everyone's all right. But getting back, there's a lot going on out here. See this individual who's homeless. He looks like the white Jesus character, but he lives on this bridge area. They're attacking me, but there's people who's living, on the bridge. This is sad, man. They're expendicating resources, money, etc., to attack your boy MTAC, but they cannot spend money to get the homeless people uh, off the streets. It's just this is sad, man. This is sad. My heart goes out. If I'm ever put in a position where I'm blessed enough, that's going to be one of the things that I address, and is homelessness. These people should at least be given warm meals, tents, a place to stay, other than sleeping on the streets. You know, so yeah, this is a real crime, and unfortunately, due to the fact that they're able to spread lies, rumors, and carry out these false investigations, um, with in conjunction with gag orders, non-disclosure agreements, which means that there's limited or disabled dialogue, then they're getting away with these crimes. This is what America has become. You know, this is what America has become, a cesspool of agents in our communities, and other places. Very, very sad, but true. You know, it has become the reflection of the exact same entities that it claimed to be at odds against during World War II and the Vietnam War. Stating that, hey, we're fighting against communism. They said they were fighting against communism, right? Um, then why has the United States of America become very reflective of the same communistic um, ideologies that they sent hundreds of thousands of soldiers to die for, you know, and maybe you guys don't know what communism is, um, or socialism is, but this is why education is definitely necessary. The people need to be educated. I can't tell you how many interactions that I have on a day to day basis where I'm trying to explain these basic terminologies to the public, and very few of your average people can even relate to what I'm saying. They don't know what communism is. They don't know what counterintelligence is. They don't know what socialism is. They don't understand why they're in the poverty conditions that they're in, you know, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They're a victim as well. Public schooling is just a tool of control. It's a form of mind control, to be honest. It is and I'll say this once more, the public school is nothing more than a form of mind control. And unfortunately, um, many minds have become victims of the public school um, institutes, which the word institutionalize means to mentally program, to program the thought process thereof. So, it's not their faults that they are victims. We have people in the chat. I want to reference and respect all those of you who came out for positive, supportive purposes and so forth. So if you're in the chat room and you're watching this, my respect goes out to you and so forth. But we can't throw in the towel. We got to continue to fight. In my previous live stream, I wanted to urge many of the people to Google and contact their local state um, representatives. That means that these are your congressmen and women that represent your voice in legislative processes. Once again, your legislators, you need to contact them. Those people who are supposed to be there to voice and express your your mindset in political and democratic actions, right? But if they don't know what you think, then they're going to vote against that. You need to call them up. You simply Google whatever state you're in. If you're in the state of Mississippi, you Google Mississippi House representatives in my area, right? And their number's going to come up. More than likely, you'll get a 202 number. That'll be their White House, not White House, but Washington D.C. Voicemail, and it may have actually their local or regional office. Go down to their regional office if you can, and voice your distress. Let them know that you want to be safe in your nation. I'm not against national security. What I am against, I'm against this version of national security, which views the average hardworking American as the threat to national security. I'm against this concept of national security where Fortune 500 companies and members associated with law enforcement, et cetera, that have ties inside this secret deep state network through the fusion centers and through the Department of Homeland Security can carry out acts of uh, vindictive acts, and revengeful acts against someone who have not broken the law, nor are they a threat to the real national security of the United States of America. I'm against this ideal of national security where people can abuse the see something, say something laws. Where if you have a person who's jealous of you at work or at church or in your neighborhood, they don't like the fact that they're driving Mercury and you just got blessed with a Cadillac or something, and so they pick up the phone and they call the anonymous FBI hotline in order to make up all these false allegations against you and bring in the demons and the devils that this is what they look forward to, right? This is their action. This is where they get their thrill from. These are the sick psychopaths. They live for the torture. You know what I mean? That's just the truth of the matter. The black operation field agents, that's they're psychotic and twisted in their mindset. They have all these weapons, these surveillance tools, these drugs and things of that nature, and they can't wait to use it. So the moment that they get one of these phone calls from the see something, say something um, construct, they're on your tail. And you may not have done a thing to deserve it, um, and so forth. So this is what I'm speaking up and out about, not against the security of the people here in the United States of America or any place in the world. I believe if you're a human being, citizen of Earth, then you deserve the right to be secure in your goings and comings and so forth. So this is basically it, and it's just kind of um, mind blowing to know that here I am being tracked, traced, monitored, and surveilled 24/7 by the United States government. I wish my camera was a whole lot better, but off in the sky, it's not a bird, it's not a plane, and it's not a star, but that bright little dot up in the upper right-hand corner, that is a surveillance satellite, and it is only on because your boy MTAC is doing his thing. Uh, I need to give a breakdown of what those satellites' capabilities are and what they're capable of doing with this new age advanced technology, the artificial intelligence satellite in the sky that is monitoring practically every United States citizen, whether you work for them or not. Um, they have the ability to track, trace you all over the place, and so forth. So I'm not going to hold you guys up. Just wanted to reach out to you for a little bit Veterans Affairs. I need, you know, they're always calling, collecting money because the United States apparently is expendicating more resources to uh, help people execute grudge matches uh, and eliminate outspoken truthers to censor than they are to help aid and assist those who have fought in giving their lives to literally protect and serve this country. So my veterans know I definitely have a level of respect for them. But I just got to be honest and truthful. They're using many of you from the American Legion, the Veterans Association. You're starting to have a change of heart, and I acknowledge that. I commemorate you, um, but it still don't take away the fact that the attacks that have happened against my life and the lives of many others like me needs to be restituted. Right? There can't be reconciliation until there's restitution, which means that for the damages that have been caused in one's life, they need to be restored. And then we can move forward together, um, and so forth. So, this is basically it. There's no one in the chats. Normally, there's people in the chats ready to ask questions or interact, and there's no one in the chat tonight. So, your boy MTAC, I'm not going to hold you all up um, or anything like that. I'm not going to continue to hold you up, but I once again will encourage you to pick up the phone, call your congressman, congresswoman, and address this issue. Have them look into it. Um, Crimes from of the Department of Justice and the FBI and the CIA, um, and so forth. And if they don't believe you, then just remind them of the fact that um, you know Mar-a-Lago houses were raided, and even BT himself, Mr. Donald Trump, was attacked by the so-called uh, deep state. Right? He threatened to expose them, and Donald Trump was attacked. At least this is the narrative that the guy that Donald Trump get attacked. Now, was it for real? How much of it is scripted? How much of it is not? I can't even afford to exert any energy to try to figure that part out, and I'm not going to waste my time. The truth will eventually manifest. Um, but is it possible? Yes. Yes, it is highly possible. Why? Because the first thing that Donald Trump did when he got in office was he fired the head of the FBI, right? He went on a cleansing campaign, and he ruffled a lot of feathers because, they accused him of running the country like a dictator as he got rid of people he couldn't trust. Not to say that he wasn't corrupt himself, because he's not uh, you know without his faults. He had many ills, but yet and still he knew that the deep state was a problem. And when he got in power, he started dealing with the problem like, hey, you guys are off in my business. It's time to clean house. And as they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend for the time being. So that's just what that is. So Donald Trump did do the victims a favor because he went into those ex-CIA forms and files, and he was digging through, and he said, "Why would these above top secret security clearances be still held by people who no longer works for the United States government? What would they need a an above top secret clearance?" And there was, I mean, there's so many of them. They was running rampant with these black operations, right? Every private post 9/11, with them being able to establish the private security industrial complex where it became profitable for former members of the CIA and FBI to make money, right? As being like the hitmen and the hit squad, the mercenaries for these Fortune 500 groups, which would, toss them a few million. That's like a drop in a bucket for a company like the one I worked for, Schneider and Modal, right? To toss these private security firms headed by former CIA and FBI to to off your boy, to say, hey, deal with them, get rid of them. Here's $5 million. Here's $10 million. Here's $20 million. Do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Because these are multi-billion-dollar companies, so that doesn't hurt their revenue. I mean, their insurance and their tax breaks cover $20 million. Um, and so when Donald Trump began to discover these things, he said, you know what? There's no way I'm going to have um, agencies running around here performing operations, black ops, which means that, it's unknown, undiscoverable. They're like I'm not even going to get into that, but if you don't know what a black op is, then go do your research, learn something. Um, and the president himself is unbriefed, unprivy to the information. And so, what did he do? Go look it up. The CNN, um, NBC news clips of those guys. I mean, they were furious, turning red in the face. I mean, they were so mad. One of them, got on one of these CNN interviews, I remember, and he was like, "This man is a dictator," and he basically, I mean, you could see the animosity and the hatred, as he had been one of the many former CIA and federal agents that had their security clearance ripped from them and could no longer run amok, could no longer come into the community, flash a security clearance and say, hey, I'm running this operation against your neighbor. Couldn't show up at your church or your Israelite synagogue or congregation and say, hey, I'm running this secret operation against someone here and you can't say anything. You know, they couldn't call up your family members anymore, and they was furious. So if nothing else, that right there, Donald Trump done. That was good, and I'm not pro the person, I'm pro the actions. So there's good and bad that these things that each side do. Now both sides is mostly bad. There's more bad than there is good, but nonetheless, I do believe that we need to push, whether it's the president, the Senate, the House, um, to address these DOJ or Department of Justice crime, which means that it's coming from your criminal justice system. It's coming from the judicial department. That's where the corruption is, you guys. For those of you who understand the checks and balance system here in the democratic state of America, we have a judicial system, right? We have a legislative system, and then we have an executive branch. So, you know, the Congress, they're all right. Yeah, they've infiltrated Congress as well, but we have some people in Congress that are fighting for us. The presidential elections, they're rigging those things, man. I'm just telling you. The president isn't elected, they're selected. This is why your votes, I don't vote, but your votes, you guys who believe in that corrupt, broken system, your votes was counted in Venezuela. Venezuela, which just so happened to be a communistic, wasn't it Venezuela? What was his name? Chavez. Um, Go look that up, man. Do any of this stuff make sense? That's for you to to answer. Hey, what's going on? We have Brian Jenkins in the building. Welcome on. Uh, it's good to. Oh man, yeah, it's good to see you um, in the house. And Brian, I'm not sure if you're aware of uh, of what I'm speaking of, but it's the truth. The Department of Justice is corrupt. Especially the FISA court or the division which handle foreign and intelligent court affairs. You know, that is where the corruption is coming from. The FISA courts and the federal magistrate judges, the FMJ, are the ones who authorizes the FBI and the CIA. You know, and so a lot of people don't know this stuff, but it is it is necessary that we educate ourselves concerning these things. As a matter of fact, the republic democracy means that the people are supposed to be empowered. Unfortunately, the people can't even enforce their power because they have been deprived of that educational factor. They don't understand their right to not only vote and elect officials and representatives to be in office, but to to ensure to ensure. Let me articulate it right. That they are following through on their promises. If you get an elected official in office, and I'm not with the voting, but once again, if you go that route, then you should have the ability to call up your congressman, congresswoman, and say, and voice your concerns. See how they're voting. See if they're addressing these matters um, on when they're put on the table. You know, why else would just so they can come by on campaign week and grab your baby or your grandbaby out of your arms and kiss it and hand it back to you? Give you that. Uh, the campaign wave. It's it's classic, right? Like, no, you should ensure that they're following through with the promises that they have made. If they promise something, they should keep that promise to you because you, as the republic, as the people, you have the power. You know, you have the power to address these matters, and you should. um, as this country moved closer and closer towards a state where they want to deprive you of your Bill of Rights. Now, your Bill of Rights includes your freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion. Um, and that's just in your First Amendment. It also includes your right to bear arms. They want to deprive you of that, which here in the state of Louisiana, I feel sorry if they try to. I mean, He's oh man, you're not taking the guns away from people down here in uh, these country bottom states. That's just not going to happen. Nonetheless, you know, um, I'm just going to cut this short. Thank you guys once again for coming out. Um, you know, call up the ACLU and let them know that the Department of Justice is corrupt in their dealings. There needs to be more transparency as to uh, these investigations and false accusations. They're having you follow, stalk, track, trace, monitor, and disrespect your neighbors, your families, your friends, your coworkers, and other social organizational members. This isn't right. They're putting the divide amongst the people, and people divided cannot stand. You know, that's just what that is. You're not going to be able to stand together. They're operating in a satanic fashion, in a Luciferian fashion. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, said that the evil one, the devil, is the one that weakens the nation. How do he weaken the nations? He divide the nations. He keep the people divided. And we've been divided long enough based on color, based on politics, based on other philosophical views, etc. It is time for us to come together in unity and in strength and ensure that we stand together against this atrocity. And I'm depending on you guys, you know what I mean, to stand up for me because your boy MTAC needs your help to be, vindicated in this warfare between me and the federal government, which has gotten too far out of control, way too far out of control. And with that being said, you guys continue to stay woke. And if you're not woke, wake up so you too can be blessed. But your boy MTAC has got to be is out.